Good morning, everyone. I'm Joseph McDonnell, and I am honored to serve as president of the University of Maine at Farmington. It is my privilege to welcome you today as we gather to celebrate this year's commencement for the class of 2024. We are delighted to have secured this venue for our graduation ceremony with Maine's magnificent western mountains in the background. Our thanks to John Moore and Jennifer Bjorn for their generosity by inviting the university to hold our graduation here. Would you please rise, if you are able, for the singing of our national anthem by UMF senior Leo Ellie Godard.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Please be seated. UMF student Gabriella Foltz will now read our Indigenous Land and Water Acknowledgement. Gabby will graduate today.
We would like to begin by recognizing that the University of Maine at Farmington occupies the traditional homelands of the Abenaki people of Anmeso County, whose communities lived and sustained themselves along what we call the Sandy River for millennia until very recent times. We acknowledge that this community was largely displaced to Wollanock and Odanak reserves in Quebec, Canada, as a result of colonial warfare, and that their descendants remain there today. The Abenaki people of Western Maine are the original caretakers of this area and maintain a sacred connection with it. We pledge to honor that relationship by educating ourselves about their history and current struggles, and by investigating our own responsibility to correct ongoing justice. We wish to also extend this acknowledgement to the Maliseet, Micmac, Penobscot, and Passamaquoddy nations, who, with the Abenaki of Wollanock and Odanak, make up the Wabanaki people. We recognize and affirm the sovereignty of the Native nations in this territory and beyond. We recognize that sovereignty means the ability to self-govern and to govern over one's homelands. We understand that this statement has real implications and that decolonization is not a metaphor. We pledge to continue our collaboration with the Wabanaki people to further decolonize spaces and to transform UMF into a place that honors Wabanaki and other Indigenous peoples. We acknowledge that this is an ongoing process in which the University of Maine at Farmington promises to partake in partnership with the many Indigenous individuals who have contributed to this important cause.
Thank you, Gabriella. Let me now introduce the platform party and others participating today. I ask you to stand when I call your name and remain standing until we acknowledge your entire group. In the back row from my right, Vice President for Student Affairs, Advancement, and Enrollment Management, Christine Wilson. Our singer of the national anthem, Leo Ellie Goddard. Senior Class Vice President, Sam Lee Michelson. Senior Class President, Aidan Mulrooney. Senior Class Speaker, Jacob Patrick Turlot. Indigenous Land and Water Acknowledgement Speaker, Gabriella Foltz. And University Marshal and Professor of Anthropology, Nicole Killett. Please thank these graduating seniors and senior leaders for their service and participation. Thank you. In the front row, starting from my right, our co-provost and Dean of Arts and Sciences, Steve Quackenbush, Professor Emeritus and former Maine Poet Laureate, Wesley McNair, a member of the University of Maine System Board of Trustees, Owen McCarthy, University of Maine System Chancellor, Daniel Malloy, our commencement speaker, Monica Wood, and our co-provost and Dean of Education, Catherine Yardley. And at the table at my left, Professor of Political Science, Scott Erb, and Professor of Education, Shannon Larson. Please thank these leaders and honorees for their service and participation. We also recognize Reicher Entertainment, who bagpiped us into the ceremony today, Andrea Gerstard at the organ, who provided pre-ceremony music and will accompany our recessional, and Amy Horan and Rebecca Johnson, who are interpreting the ceremony in American Sign Language. Please join me in thanking these contributors to commencement. Our reserved seating section is full of important friends of the university, including members of the UMF Board of Visitors and the UMF Alumni Council, and officials from the town of Farmington and the state of Maine. Thank you for being exceptional partners to this university and for your attendance today. UMF has significant strengths, including our size, our location, and our culture. But our greatest strength is our faculty and staff. Our faculty work hard to prepare our students with analytical tools, moral values, and passion for learning, grounded in the liberal arts and sciences. We are fortunate to have dedicated faculty who both pursue research in their fields and generously share their time and knowledge with our students. At UMF, teaching matters. I now ask members of the UMF faculty to please rise. Graduation cannot happen without these exceptional members of our community. As outstanding and creative teachers, advisors, mentors, and scholars, you have given immensely to prepare our graduates for this day. Please, students especially, join me in extending our deepest thanks and appreciation to the UMF faculty. The modern university relies on staff as much as faculty to fulfill its mission. And yet, too often, staff do not get the recognition they deserve. We have staff devoted to admissions, advising, career services, housing, food service, information technology, finance, alumni, financial aid, the arts, recreation, public safety, and student services. We have superb building and grounds crews, librarians, coaches, and administrative support personnel. These staff members play a meaningful role in the life of the university, sometimes directly with students and other times behind the scenes. I now ask members of the UMF staff to please rise. Please recognize these dedicated UMF staff members. You have guided our graduates through countless interactions with all these university functions, and we honor your dedication to UMF. Graduates, please join me in extending our fondest thanks to our UMF staff. Finally, let me thank the UMF Commencement Committee. This group has orchestrated and is now overseeing this momentous occasion. Please join me in offering them a much-deserved round of applause. We also want to thank the parents and family members of our graduates for your support. We are grateful for all the sacrifices you have made to educate these graduates, and we are pleased to enjoy this proud moment with you. At this time, I'd like to ask the graduates to stand to publicly acknowledge your family members who have sacrificed for your education. Thank you. Let me now congratulate our graduates. We are extraordinarily proud of you and your accomplishments. The university experience is a transformative one. As John Henry Newman, the great 19th century author of The Idea of a University, observed, and I quote, "A university education should ensure that students do not stand at graduation where they did when they entered the university, but have a new center, a new range of thoughts to which they were before strangers." And it is your teachers and your parents, more than anyone else, who notice this transformation from first-year student to graduating senior and from college graduate to the completion of graduate school. The University of Maine at Farmington nurtures an inclusive culture. Everyone here is a member of a diverse community, people from different races, cultures, countries, regions, political persuasions, and sexual orientations. UMF welcomes and values all students. I hope that you have learned at UMF to embrace diversity. An essential aspect of a college education is learning to understand and respect differences and learning to find common ground and common interests. The class of 2024 has demonstrated extraordinary resilience by having your education disrupted in your senior year of high school by a worldwide pandemic, which extended into your critical first year of college. But you stayed with it. Your resilience will serve you well in the future. At an early age, you learned that life often takes us to plan B, or C, or sometimes D. Life is full of ups and downs, and your capacity to adjust to the unexpected and make the best of it should give you confidence to navigate in a dynamic world. Today, people are questioning the value of a college degree. Only 36% of the population in Maine obtains a college education. 45% of Maine's high school graduates do not pursue advanced studies. What is the benefit of a college education? The lasting effect of a college education is not found in remembering the specific content of course material, but from the habits of mind, the widening of interests, the development of character, and the commitment to continuous learning, open-mindedness, and civic engagement that graduates obtain from their university education. The acceleration of technological change that will take place over your lifetimes will require skills that you cannot learn in today's classroom because the technology is not yet developed, nor is the implications of that technology known. Both positive and unintended implications will follow. Technology has the capacity to liberate, but also to manipulate. And a college education will arm you with the critical skills to guard against that manipulation. What you must take away from this education is the capacity to identify and resolve problems as they emerge, to think creatively and critically, to communicate clearly, to collaborate with diverse people, and to see the world through a moral lens. These are the skills that you have learned here at Farmington, and you must nurture these skills in a world that will require you to continuously learn. I hope that you leave with both the curiosity and the confidence that you can learn new things. If you do that, you will be prepared for whatever path in life you choose. Your generation is coming of age into a fractured world and a deeply divided country. Your generation will have the challenge of addressing political polarization, climate change, human migration, the rise of autocracy, and the risk of warfare with increasingly sophisticated weapons. One of the deepest divides in our own country is between those with a college degree and those without a degree. It is those with a college degree that must take the initiative to bridge the cultural divide and the political divide by fostering common values. Do not live in your own bubble. Reach out to those with different views from your own. Listen and learn. Our task as citizens is to reinvigorate the ideals of democracy. As President Abraham Lincoln urged, we must display the better angels of our nature to heal a broken country and a divided world. This is the larger mission to which society is calling today's college graduates, and I have every reason to believe you will rise to this challenge. Congratulations, best wishes, and please stay in touch. It is now my distinct honor to invite Trustee Owen McCarthy to bring us greetings from the University of Maine System Board of Trustees. Owen is a first-generation college graduate with a Bachelor's of Science in Biological Engineering from the University of Maine and an MBA from Harvard Business School. Owen is also a Presidential Leadership Scholar, an honor bestowed by the Presidential Libraries of Presidents George H.W. Bush, George W. Bush, Lyndon B. Johnson, and Bill Clinton. Owen is deeply committed to enhancing educational opportunities, particularly in rural areas, serving on the boards of the Rural Future Fund and the University of Maine system. It is with great pleasure that I welcome Trustee Owen McCarthy.
Got to self-serve my own speech here. Good morning, proud parents, devoted friends, and above all, the accomplished graduates of the University of Maine Farmington class of 2024. It is an honor to stand before you today on this pivotal day, a day of joy, reflection, and immense pride. And I am here to congratulate you all on behalf of the University of Maine Board of Trustees. Today we celebrate not just your academic achievements, but your resilience. In Maine, only about 36% of high school students complete their degree. You've all achieved this in an era marked by significant change, including a pandemic that reshaped our world. Each of you is part of an exceptional group who has not only faced these extraordinary challenges, but has triumphed over them. As someone who remembers my own graduation, I know firsthand how much it takes a village to get to this point. And so similarly to President McDonald, I want to make sure after the ceremony that you all take the time to thank your loved ones that have gotten you here today. The opportunity forward. We live in a rapidly evolving world. Artificial intelligence is reshaping it, and we're seeing ever-changing geopolitical conditions. And in this moment, I know this world needs you. I'm confident that UMaine Farmington has not only equipped you with knowledge, but also critical thinking and interpersonal skills to overcome this moment. These are the tools you'll need to step up and address tomorrow's challenges. Reflecting on my own upbringing from Patton, Maine, as a son of a logger, I once believed that leaders needed to have a distinguished background or the perfect resumes. What I've come to realize is, however, is that true leaders are people like you. People who will step up in crucial moments, who innovate and collaborate, who work hard, leading not because they are predestined, but because they choose to act when it matters most. So knowing that, and knowing the education you received is not a series of lectures and exams, it is a privilege for you that brings with it a profound responsibility to make a positive impact. Whether by caring for your community, creating a dynamic workplace, or just simply being a beacon of hope for someone in your life, you possess the potential to aspire and elevate others. So to end with this, commencement is not an end, but a beginning. And as we look forward to this new dawn, I charge each of you to take up this responsibility, seize the opportunities before you, and become the leaders our world needs. Congratulations.
Thank you, Owen. It is now my honor to invite the University of Maine System Chancellor, Daniel Malloy, for his greetings to our graduates and their families and friends. Chancellor Malloy holds a bachelor's in political science and sociology from Boston College, a JD degree from Boston College Law School, and 6 honorary degrees. Chancellor Malloy was mayor of Stamford, Connecticut for 14 years and a 2-term governor of Connecticut. Since 2019, Chancellor Malloy has led the University of Maine system with public universities across Maine. It is with my great pleasure that I welcome Chancellor Malloy to the podium.
Let me begin by saying it is a great honor to be with all of you, the graduates, the faculty and staff, the parents and friends of the graduates as well. Like all of you up there, I've sat through 3 of these myself, and it is a great day for you to enjoy the success that has been accomplished by your children or relatives or friends. I want to thank the faculty for the tremendous job that they do day in and day out. They are committed to the success of the young people arrayed before us who are graduating today. And let me say to those of you who are graduating, you are part of a 6,000 number of graduates from our system. This is a brotherhood and sisterhood of universities working together to assure the success of the state of Maine economically and otherwise, and to hopefully prepare you for the successes that lie before you. On this day, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of young people will also receive their degrees. Our country needs you. Needs you now perhaps more than at any time in our recent history. perhaps going back as late as the 1830s. We need you to be the leaders that your faculty and friends have prepared you to be. We've made mistakes in this country, but I believe that the people arrayed before me and arrayed before other speakers throughout this country are in fact prepared, better prepared, to right the ship than perhaps any other generation. We need to be great speakers. We need to impart knowledge. But more important than that, we need to listen and understand that people come at problems from different directions, and that the best solution is one of compromise, of understanding, and of embracing. I believe that the oldest public university in Maine, Farmington, has done its job. The question is, will we do our job? And I believe you will. Congratulations on the success that's being honored today, but we are counting on you to do even greater work in the days, months, years that now lay before you. And let me finally say, please continue to be a part of this family of universities in Maine. You are great symbols of what success is and predictors of future success. Congratulations.
I'm honored. I am honored to be here. I certainly am. So now I'm pleased to invite Christine Wilson, Vice President for Student Affairs, Advancement, and Enrollment Management here to introduce our speaker for today, student speaker for today.
Greetings, graduates, families, and friends. Thank you for being here to celebrate the accomplishments of our beloved students. Everyone knows that these graduates persisted through college during very challenging times. Their memories of life at UMF will be forever intertwined with the COVID-19 pandemic and its impact on all aspects of our lives. Our graduates made the most of their experiences despite these challenges, but some of our graduates were additionally impacted by the loss of loved ones during their time at UMF, people who otherwise would be here today. Last year, we began a new tradition, the Remembrance Chair. This empty chair is a symbol of loved ones and friends whom students have lost while in college. These folks may not be here in person, but they are here in our memories. And now, we will have a moment of silence to remember these special people. Thank you. Next, I have the privilege of introducing today's student speaker, Jacob Patrick Turlow. Jacob is a political science major from Benton, Maine. During his time at UMF, he was a member of Ultimate Disc Club and served as the club's treasurer. He was also a member of the Sustainable Campus Coalition. Last summer, he served as an intern with the Maine People's Alliance. He also represented UMF as a Maine policy scholar, and during the program conducted research on the educational opportunities for Maine public students with disabilities, and he presented his research findings this spring. After graduation, Jacob will study for his master's degree. He hopes to work for a member of Congress, and his long-term goal is to earn a PhD and become a college professor. Please join me in welcoming Jacob Patrick Turlow.
Sorry. Thank you. I should probably get better at that. Thank you, everybody, for being here, first of all. Before I get started, I would like to thank my mom, my sisters, and my grandparents for supporting me throughout the past 4 years. Every step of this long journey, you have all been there to push me to succeed, and I cannot say thank you enough. When I transferred to the University of Maine at Farmington between the fall of 2021 and the spring of 2022, it was going to be my 4th school in as many semesters. So naturally, I didn't attend new student orientation, and I got lost on my way to my first class in Roberts Hall. I didn't need orientation. I already knew 3, maybe 4 people here, and that was enough in my eyes. That choice might not have been the best looking back, but I would like to speak on the opportunities that UMF has given me to create new friendships, new memories, and most importantly, not become just another school in my ever too long list of schools I have attended throughout my undergraduate career. This school gave me opportunities that I would never have had elsewhere. When I transferred here, I was a secondary education major focusing on social studies. I had always enjoyed government and history classes, so when I saw the opportunity to take a travel course to our nation's capital, I jumped on it. This travel course is easily one of the most valuable moments of my educational career. Getting to meet and discuss policy issues with all 4 members of Maine's congressional delegation is pretty cool, but seeing Marine One land on the White House lawn while riding electric scooters down the National Mall is a memory that will stick. Sam Grant whispering to me, "Oh, that woman is insane," as we walked past a sitting member of the United States Congress is a memory that will stick. There are so many memories from that amazing trip that will last a lifetime. I could be up here for hours. That trip alone pushed me to switch my major to political science. Let's just say I did not know what I was getting myself into. 4 Dr. Melcher classes later, I can confidently say that it is not rocket science, it is political science, and that's why I'm earning a degree today. Dr. Melcher has pushed me to become a more well-rounded student than I can thank him enough for. He pushed me to participate in the Maine Public Policy Scholars Program, one of which I was terrified of applying to, thinking I was underqualified and just not good enough for. His confidence in me became confidence in myself, and I will miss his impersonations of Ronald Reagan while handing out the syllabus on day 1 of each class. I spoke previously on how I was naive when I skipped orientation because I already had the few friends I thought I would need when I transferred here. As I look into this crowd, I regret not making a better effort to get to know more of you. The political science major is relatively small, and when I transferred here, I had already gotten most of my gen eds out of the way. So many of the classes I took were with the same exact people. That's why, if there's any underclassmen who relate to anything that I just said, I implore you to join a club. I'm shamelessly going to plug the Ultimate Disc Club and the Sustainable Campus Coalition. These 2 clubs gave me a group of friends and a sense of purpose on this campus outside of the classroom. When I joined the Ultimate Disc Club, I could not throw a Frisbee for the life of me, but that was not important. The club gave me what I hope to be lifelong friendships, saw the birth of an in-practice rivalry between myself and Keith Fletcher that some critics have compared to the Red Sox and the Yankees or Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. This club also brought me on amazing trips to tournaments around New England, and these will also be lifelong memories. I'm forever thankful for every person in this crowd who has created the campus community that we have enjoyed over the past 4 years. The town and the campus have a unique bond that is honestly quite fascinating. Karaoke night at the Roost would not be the same without the local residents who sing their hearts out. We have all been told that we need to be saved by an old man that knows nothing about any of us. And we've all frantically rushed to get a spot in the stone lot after they plow. And we've all come to the disheartening and demoralizing realization that we have to drive down behind the FRC and make the long walk back to our dorms. But it's these shared experiences that make our college journey unique. For some, this ceremony is a stepping stone towards furthering our education. For others, this is a culmination of 4 extremely difficult years. Just over 4 years ago, we all got notified that school would be canceled for 2 weeks for some disease named after a beer that my mom hadn't let me try yet. I probably should have thanked her then because the beer isn't great anyway. But that disease became a household name that has affected each and every one of our lives in some way, yet we are still here. We each started and finished our education in the strangest of circumstances, and there is no other place besides Farmington that I would rather have my first actual graduation ceremony. Over the next few months, we are going to look for jobs or higher education all around the state, all around the country, or perhaps even all around the world. Regardless of where our next step takes us, never forget the education and the bonds that you got from being a Beaver. I would like to end with what has become one of the most influential things ever said to me, and it comes from my grandparents. When I was growing up, all the way up until now, they would both always remind me to have fun. In whatever I was doing, whether I was leaving for work, going to school, playing youth sports, whatever it may be, the message was to always have fun. If you're not having fun while doing it, make the necessary changes to ensure that you start having fun. Finish your commitments and obligations, of course, but life is too short to not enjoy what you are doing. And that's ultimately why I didn't transfer away from Farmington, because I was ultimately having the most fun I've ever had. Congratulations to all graduates. Enjoy this day, and thank you for allowing me to enjoy my time as a Beaver.
Thank you, Jacob. It now gives me great pleasure to welcome Professor Wellesley McNair to the podium. Wes McNair was Poet Laureate of Maine from 2011 to 2016 and has served 5 times on the Pulitzer Poetry Jury. He is the founder of the UMF Creative Writing Program and its former director, and a longtime UMF faculty member. Wes is currently Professor Emeritus at the University of Maine at Farmington, and now he will read his poem, Love Story.
Thank you, President McDonald. On this auspicious day, I'd like to read a poem about a family, my own family, in our driveway, trying to get our old car to start. Does that sound familiar to anybody? We lived in on a house on a hill with a road that led straight down, and my wife and I thought that if we could just get the car positioned right alongside that road and the kids filed into the back and she took the wheel while I pushed as hard as I could from behind, we could maybe, just maybe, start the car by rolling it downhill. That little event seemed so ordinary when I experienced it that it took me years to see it for what it was. It was the first time I remember my family coming together as a team against the odds. A small event, sure, but also there was this shared sense that by working together, we could get out of a fix and carry on. And by God, we did. So I call this poem about my family, as you just heard, Love Story. And in it, I return to that old car and us and our shared resolve. It's addressed to my wife, Diane, in 3 unfolding questions. What was opening the door those years ago to let our 4 kids, one by one, followed by the dog, into the back seat of the old car we parked in the driveway next to the downhill road because the battery went dead the day before? What was it but a prayer? What were our arguments as we tried to time my pushing the family down the hill and your taking your foot off the clutch to start the car, though instead bringing it to a dead stop over and over? What but an agreement to go on despite our limitations? What was the moment in the midst of our despair when the engine suddenly caught and you roared away and came back for me, and I got in by the soda can on the floor and the dog now sitting between us on the emergency brake. The whole family smiling as the trees broke apart faster and faster above our heads. What a blessing. For me, graduates, your commencement, this happy ending of shared triumph against the odds, is a love story too. And over your last 4 years here at UMF, your team has become much bigger. It includes not only your parents, not to mention your grandparents who supported you from the start, but your teachers who've taught and supported and sometimes forgiven you, because like your parents, they believed in you. In my mind's eye, I envision all of them today at the top of a hill, some behind the car pushing, and some alongside breaking into a cheer because the engine has suddenly caught. And there you are in the driver's seat with a smile on your face, supported, educated, and ready to carry on into your chosen future. Happy graduation.
It is my honor to introduce Monica Wood, award-winning author, as recipient of our honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters and this year's commencement speaker. Monica Wood is a novelist, a memoirist, playwright, the 2024 recipient of the Sarah Josepha Hale Award for Excellence in the Arts in New England, the 2019 Constant Carlson Prize for contributions to the public humanities in Maine, and the 2018 Maine Writers and Publishers Alliance Distinguished Achievement Award for her contributions to the literary arts. Her newest novel, How to Read a Book, has already secured translation rights in 5 countries. Her previous novel, the best-selling The 1 in a Million Boy, was translated into 20 languages in over 30 countries. She is also the author of several books for aspiring writers and 3 plays, Papermaker, The Half-Light, and Saint Dad. She lives in Portland with her husband, Dan Abbott, and their cat, Susie. I now ask that President McDonald join me in presenting the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters on behalf of the University of Maine at Farmington and the University of Maine Board of Trustees.
Monica Wood, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University of Maine system, I have the honor to bestow upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa. Congratulations.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, President McDonald, for inviting me to speak today and for conferring this honorary degree. I grew up not far from here in the town of Mexico. My sister Catherine graduated from UMF, as did her mother-in-law, Alice, and my husband's sister, Christine, and their grandma, Marie, back when UMF was Farmington State Normal School. One of my best friends, Lewis Robinson, teaches here. Okay. In other words, being honored in this way feels very much like a family affair to me, even a homecoming of sorts, and I'm grateful. I offer my warmest and best wishes to you, dear graduates, and to the families who made this joyful milestone possible for you. And for the first-generation graduates out there, well done. A couple of years ago, my husband and I were walking on Forest Avenue in Portland, heading uphill to run some errands downtown, when a block or so ahead of us, we spotted what looked like a person lying in the middle of the sidewalk. We were not alone on the street that day. Several people had passed the person by the time we got close enough to see that the person was a man, lying face up, wearing a green polo shirt and brand new jeans. On the ground next to him was an unopened six-pack in a torn paper bag. His eyes were closed. His hair was clipped short. I remember he had large, lovely hands. "Hey, you all right?" my husband asked as he checked for a pulse. The man had one. And for breathing, the man was breathing. Dan gently shook the man by the shoulder and spoke to him softly, then shook him harder and spoke to him loudly, but the man remained unresponsive. This would be an unrare story of life on a city street, except for what happened next. Just as every person walking ahead of us had passed this man by, every person who came up behind us stopped to ask how they might help. One person stepping up gave everybody else permission to do the same. There was really nothing much we could do at the moment besides call 911, so we all stood there in a little knot of helplessness until the ambulance arrived. The man was taken away by people who knew what to do, and that was the end of our obligation. I called the hospital and the police station later that day, but I never learned what happened to the man or what caused him to be lying on a sidewalk in Portland, Maine in the middle of a fresh spring day. It could have been a diabetic coma, maybe a seizure, maybe a drug overdose. I'll never know. What I do know is that when I first saw him lying there, my impulse, like that of the folks walking ahead of us, was to keep walking. I also know that the second my husband said, "Hey, you all right?" I understood that my first impulse was the wrong one, driven maybe by fear or confusion or an instinct for protecting the man's privacy, or maybe just the simple fact of not knowing what to do. The kindness my husband performed that day may have been futile. The man may have died, or he may be recovered within the hour and returned to the street. The point of this story is not the unknowable result of an act of kindness, but rather the act itself. The point is not what happened to this poor man, and I do wish I could tell you. It's about what happened to us, the helpers. It's about that little wing lift of feeling that visited us, 5 or 6 strangers who were suddenly no longer strangers, at least for those 15 minutes when we stood vigil over that man who didn't even know we were there. We didn't know each other's names. We'd likely never meet again. We went our separate ways, but not without a sense that something had happened to us, something that had connected us, if only briefly, in a way that mattered. Of course, you know that everyone here today wishes you success in your chosen path. But more than that, much more than that, we hope you find yourselves living a happy life. It's been very well documented that the key to human happiness lies not with the wealth we acquire or the deeds we accomplish, but rather with the quality and strength of our relationships, family, partners, best friends. Having these so-called strong ties improves not only our mental health, but our physical health as well. And that's not really surprising. What is surprising, at least to me, is the study of so-called weak ties, social interactions with strangers and acquaintances. In study after study from all over the world, researchers are concluding that people who have many daily weak tie interactions, as brief as waving hi to the neighbor or as complicated as helping a person in distress, report a higher sense of connectedness and well-being than those who have very few. In one study, a bunch of researchers distributed 60 gift cards outside a Starbucks in Vancouver. Half the recipients were instructed to get their coffee as efficiently as possible. Get in there, get out, no talking except for the basics. And the other half were instructed to take their time, to chat with the barista, maybe pick up a story or two. Afterward, they filled out a questionnaire, and the results will not surprise you. People in the chit-chat group reported a better mood and sense of belonging than those in the just the basics group. If on the day we found that man lying in the street, someone had given us a questionnaire before we dispersed, I'm guessing we would have given ourselves a 10 on sense of belonging. Like every generation before you, you are about to enter an adult world that by many accounts is a snake pit of insurmountable challenges. Because even after many millennia of practice, we humans just can't seem to get it right. A planet on the brink, a world at war, a country divided. How is happiness even possible in such circumstances? And yet, despite an astonishing inborn talent for screwing up our lives, we now have scientific evidence that happiness is possible. And it's not even that hard, because all these studies boil down to 4 words. Sweat the small stuff. Say please and thank you. Hold the door for the next person. Smile at the receptionist. Tip generously. Be the first one to ask, hey, you all right? And as for your strong ties, call your parents once in a while, for heaven's sake. Be present for your friends, and every single day, ask your dog, who's a good boy? And if you decide to share your life with a partner, choose someone who makes you want to be a better person. Life is hard. We need each other. Go on out there and do your best. Congratulations, and thank you.
Thank you, Monica. And I'd like to tell the story that Monica did not tell, but when she was in college, her mother died, and she had to leave college. And in order to finish, she took a course at another university called the University of Maine at Farmington. And so she's now getting a degree from taking that course at Farmington. Just one course and a lifetime of achievement. So thank you, Monica. Let me invite Kathy Yardley to the podium.
The University of Maine at Farmington offers the Master of Science and Education degree in Early Childhood Education, Educational Leadership, Mathematics Education, in Special Education, and the Master of Arts degree in Counseling Psychology with an emphasis in Creative Arts. Will all the candidates for the master's degrees please rise? President McDonald, on behalf of the faculty of the University of Maine at Farmington, I have the honor to present these candidates. They have met all the requirements of the university and are recommended to you for the degrees of Master of Arts in Counseling Psychology, Master of Science in Education, Early Childhood Education, Master of Science in Education, Educational Leadership, Master of Science in Education, Mathematics Education, and Master of Science in Education, Special Education.
Thank you, Dr. Yardley. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University of Maine system, I hereby confer upon each of you the master's degrees you have earned with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto. You may now move your tassels from right to left.
Recipients of the university's master's degrees, congratulations. At this time, we invite you to come to the stage to be hooded and receive your diploma. The tradition of the academic hood can be traced back more than 500 years. The act of hooding of our master degree candidates recognizes their accomplishments, is a visual representation of their scholarly achievements, and signifies their entrance into the community of scholars. The color of the master's hood indicates the graduate's achievements. The trim indicates the graduate's academic discipline. The inside of the hood, displayed on the graduate's back, indicates the school from which the student graduated. Dr. Scott Erb will announce each of you by name as you come forward to receive your diploma.
We will now be joined by Lisa Henry, who will hood the candidates for Master of Arts in Counseling Psychology. Sylvie Amy Boisvert. Roxana L. Decker, Master of Arts. Elena Natalie Gureno, Master of Arts. Hannah L. Haas, Master of Arts. Madeline Jane Disney Johnson, Master of Arts. Claire Cameron Hubbard, Master of Arts. Laura Despard McFarland, Master of Arts. Kendra McGeorge, Master of Arts. Christine Blackwell Pura, Master of Arts. Dolphin Moon Avery Grubel, Master of Arts. Daniel Llewellyn Watley, Master of Arts. Cheyenne Rose Wilcox, Master of Arts. Now presenting the hoods for the Masters of Science in Education, Early Childhood Education, is Dr. Donna Carno. Shelby Elizabeth Alice Abreu, Master of Science in Education. And now, presenting the hoods for the Masters of Science in Education, Special Education, is Dr. Kate McLeod. Winnie Louise Adelt, Master of Science in Education. Janelle K. Albright, Master of Science in Education. Sierra Marie Clark, Master of Science in Education. Cynthia A. Chillington, Master of Science in Education. Lindsay Renee Gorman, Master of Science in Education. Susan Elizabeth Hedrick, Master of Science in Education. What? Minor. Kyle Miner, Master of Science in Education. Jacqueline Brown Novak, Master of Science in Education. Glenn M. Pichet, Master of Science in Education. Nathaniel Patrick Red, Master of Science in Education. Now, presenting the hood for the Masters of Science in Education, Mathematics Education, is Dr. Daniel Jackson. Anne Marie Amaro, Master of Science in Education. Kayla S. Tremblay, Master of Science in Education. And now, presenting the hoods for the Masters of Science in Education, Educational Leadership, is Dr. Meredith Swallow. Caitlin Marie Beatty, Educational Leadership. Chantel E. Blanchette, Master of Science in Education. Robin Kristen Crockett, Master of Science in Education. Erin Marie Felposh, Master of Science in Education. Caitlin Paige Berton, Master of Science in Education. Julie M. McFarland, Master of Science in Education. Tara Lynn Marble, Master of Science in Education. Casey Judy Purrington, Educational Leadership. What's the last name?
Congratulations to all of our master's graduates. The University of Maine at Farmington awards 4 different bachelor's degrees: the Bachelor of Arts, the Bachelor of Science, the Bachelor of Fine Arts, and the Bachelor of General Studies. Will all the bachelor's degree candidates please rise? President McDonald, on behalf of the faculty of the University of Maine at Farmington, I have the honor to present these candidates. They have met all requirements of the university for their bachelor's degree and are recommended to you for receipt of this degree.
Thank you, Dr. Yardley. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of the University of Maine system, I hereby confer upon each of you the bachelor's degree you have earned with all the rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto. You may now move your tassels from right to left.
Graduates, congratulations. Please be seated. At this time, we would like the graduating seniors to come forward to receive your diploma. The senior class officers will receive their degrees first. Dr. Scott Erb and Dr. Shannon Larson will then announce each of the degree recipients as they come forward to receive their diplomas. They will also note which graduates have earned cum laude status, indicating an overall grade point average of 3.5, magna cum laude, for a grade point average of 3.7 or above, or summa cum laude, for a grade point average of 3.9 or above.
Jacob Patrick Turlow, summa cum laude. Aiden Patrick Merloni, magna cum laude. Sam Lee Michelson, magna cum laude. Leo Eli Goddard, magna cum laude. Gabi Lee Foltz, magna cum laude. Paige Louise Luschek, summa cum laude. That's it.
All right, graduates, you have to come forward in order to get your degrees.
Abubakar Habib Abu. Rihanna Ali. Jenna Bedo. Magna cum laude. Theodora Bailey, summa cum laude. Sarah Bartlett, summa cum laude. Nolan H. Beatty, magna cum laude. Mason Joy Bean. Violet R. Bollier, cum laude. Alec Belanger. Sydney Elizabeth Belanger. Sydney Belanger. Olivia Marie Belbutte, magna cum laude. Christian Leo Bellevue. Bryn Bernayer, summa cum laude. Catherine Elise Berube, cum laude. Chloe Elizabeth Blake, cum laude. Luke Bliss. Kayla M. Bond, magna cum laude. A.J. Booth, summa cum laude. Riley Alexis Boucher, cum laude. What? Alice Mabel Bowden. Emily E.B. Boyle. Kaylee Brizard, cum laude. Caden R. Bross, magna cum laude. Jay Brunsma, summa cum laude.
My last name is pronounced Butchko.
Gina Marie Butchko, summa cum laude. Evan Michael Burnell. Martha Burt. Constantine Joseph Canzalosi, cum laude. Alex Canwell, cum laude. Here we go, Alex! Elizabeth Ann Carlson, magna cum laude. Jonathan Chambers. Sarah Chapin. Dylan James Carlton, cum laude. Callie Chick. Antonio Sante Chicomacini, magna cum laude. Caitlin Coultier, magna cum laude. Deja Marie Cornett. Alex Thomas Cody. Molly McGregor Crosby, summa cum laude. Caitlin Cross, magna cum laude. Logan Andrew Curtis. Caitlin Rose Daigle. Isaiah T. Day, cum laude. Lindsay DeFroja, magna cum laude. Maya Juliana Deming, cum laude. Connor McEwen Deming, magna cum laude. Samantha L. Derry, summa cum laude. Etienne DeRosier, magna cum laude. Kayla N. Donlin. Apollo Donovan, magna cum laude. Jenna Duchette, magna cum laude. Emily Lynn Dewan. Rhiannon Downey. William Bradford Dos. Katie Beth Dunham, cum laude. Hattie Dunton. Samuel Dupuy. Matthew Dyer. Emma Jean Dwelly. Amanda Edwards, summa cum laude. Shane Edwards. Jackson Pierre Eustace, cum laude. Joy Evans, magna cum laude. Yarrow Fabian, summa cum laude. Yep. Kirsten K. Fair, magna cum laude. Brandy Farnham, magna cum laude. Emily Marie Farrington, summa cum laude. Kincaid Ambrose Fee. Genevieve G. Feeney, summa cum laude. Rowan Fitzgerald, magna cum laude. Audrey A. Fletcher. Keith Rowan Fletcher, summa cum laude. Emma Megan Foss, magna cum laude. Bridget Everett Fournier. Allison A. French, magna cum laude. Christopher A. Fry III. Okay. Samuel Walter Fries. Marley Lynn Gabery, cum laude. Gentilo. Kelly Gentilo, magna cum laude. Jessica Gervais. Kimley Ann Gillespie. What is it, Giropare? Dorothy Ann M. Giropare, magna cum laude. Anna Gould. Caroline J. Granada, summa cum laude. Sam N. Grant, summa cum laude. Sadie Gray, cum laude. Clara Grady. Elaine Mary Gustafson. Haley Olivia Hall, magna cum laude. Alden Sterling Hallett, magna cum laude. Kelly Holleran, summa cum laude. Gillian J. Hamilton. Jacqueline Grace Hamilton, magna cum laude. Catherine Justice Hammer. Abigail M. Hansen, magna cum laude. Hargraves. Emily Hargraves. Gabrielle Taylor Hott, cum laude. Grayson Timothy Havens, cum laude. What was that? Anna Henes, magna cum laude. Val Hinckley, cum laude. Emma Catherine Hickson, summa cum laude. Eli Lyric Holland. Emma May Hovenkamp, summa cum laude. Genesis E. Hubbard. Tyler Elizabeth Hutchinson, summa cum laude. Noah D. Jacobs.
Alicia M. James Aldis, cum laude. Ashley Jones, summa cum laude. Jet Jordan, cum laude. Megan Danielle Josephs, magna cum laude. Noor McCasey. Lila Kellick.
Haley Marie Kaminsky.
Haley Marie Kaminsky, summa cum laude. Jacob R. Cately. Lauren Marie Kenny.
I forgot my card, but it's Faith King.
Faith King. Rebecca A. Knight, cum laude. Grayson S. Colble, magna cum laude. Autumn Coors Fultz, magna cum laude. Dex LaFrance, summa cum laude. Abby R. Landry, magna cum laude. Colby Langner. Anna Justina Levine, magna cum laude. Abby Elizabeth LaBelle, magna cum laude. Madison Page Lenfest, magna cum laude. Divine B. Lenge. Jack Hunter Leonard. Is it possible to Cassandra Helena Libby, cum laude. Gwen D. Lombard.
And that's
Caitlin M. Long, magna cum laude. Nakaya Lynn Lovely. Aiden Lorne Lucas. Ilana Claire Lieberger. Molly Ann Cora Lyons, magna cum laude. Anna Kathleen McDonald, magna cum laude. Liam M. Mayer. Jed M. Malinowski, magna cum laude. Alex Mangini. Mr. John C. Manzo. Larissa Jane Martin, summa cum laude. Megan Young Martin, summa cum laude. Brianna Maxim, summa cum laude. Thomas Joseph Mayo, Jr. Abigail Dawn McAtee, summa cum laude. Eric Scott McCallum. Christopher Ryan McConnell. Callie Bailey McConnell. Danelle Ray McDonald, magna cum laude. Cade Thomas McHugh. Rebecca Faith McPherson. Keegan Meredith. Kyle Page Merritt.
You can just say Aubrey Grace Merritt.
Aubrey Grace Merritt, summa cum laude. Zachary Thomas Mickle. Sarah Margaret Millage, summa cum laude. Katie Kaiser Mindell, magna cum laude.
I put my middle name up here, so
Kate Elizabeth Moeller, summa cum laude.
Just Callister Montembeau.
Callister Montembeau, summa cum laude.
I forgot my card. Theo Moore, summa cum laude.
First name again?
Theo.
Last name, Morris. Theo Moore, cum laude. Kai Glenn Morris.
Lucky Moritas.
Lucky Moritas, magna cum laude.
Millie Mhundu.
Say the last name.
Mhundu. Yes.
Millie Mahundu.
I think you're going
Musabwa? Yeah. David Musabwa. Annie R. Newman, magna cum laude. J.C. Nickerson, summa cum laude. Paige Davis Northup. Alexis Ann Norton, cum laude. Kate E. Knoll, summa cum laude. Morgan Noyes, summa cum laude. Allison Hope O'Brien. Michaela J. Oliver, cum laude. Cassidy Marlene Paker. Felicia A. Parody. Ashley A. Parlin.
Bailey Linwood Patton. Linwood Patton.
Bailey Linwood Patnode. Riley J. Pease. Abigail Noel Pelletier. Lucy M. Perkins, summa cum laude. Kayla M. Perrone. Crystalline Phipps. William Richard Picard, cum laude.
You can leave out the A, just Grace Pimenta.
Grace Pimenta. Danielle Marie Pride, magna cum laude. Nate Ratcliffe. Bailey Nicole Randall, summa cum laude. Piper Redman. Tiffany Lee Reed, cum laude. Justin Anthony Reed. Hallie Rochelle Rice. Summa cum laude. Jada L. Richard, summa cum laude. Shannon Elizabeth Richards. Emily G. Robertson. Ethan Daniel Rodrigue, magna cum laude. Kiara Rain Rose. Nevaeh Jane Rush. Caitlin N. Ryan, magna cum laude. Star Jean Sabins. Alexis Sack. Emmy L. Savarese, magna cum laude. Charlie Scalia Bruce, magna cum laude. Tati Jennifer Scott, magna cum laude. Zoe L. Sewell.
Alexander James Sharon.
Alexander James Sharon, magna cum laude. Hudson Searoyce. Haley Sewell. Cassandra Dawn Smith, cum laude. Ella H. Smith. Madison M. Smith, summa cum laude. Trinity Smith. Lily B. Souza.
I forgot my card. Just say
Ian Stanford. Alice Staples. JC L. Stevens, summa cum laude.
My middle name is Robert.
Brady Robert Stockwell, magna cum laude. Laura Isabel Taylor, cum laude.
It's Angie the Wixie Corral. Angie the Wixie Corral.
Angie Tuixi Coral, magna cum laude. Sean Tenney, summa cum laude.
Carson Terrio. It's cum laude. I had to write it really wrong.
Carson Terrio, cum laude. Kyle Thrace, cum laude. Abby Hope Town, magna cum laude. Paige Tremblay, magna cum laude. Megan Turcott, summa cum laude.
Thank you.
Grace E. Turner, magna cum laude. Destiny P. A. Erdzik. Callie Urquhart, magna cum laude. Joseph Aristel Vincitorio, magna cum laude. Ashley Ward, summa cum laude. Coleman Brooks Watson, magna cum laude.
It's a
Kyle M. Wynand. Maria M. West, cum laude. Madeline White, summa cum laude. Hadley Estes Whitlock. Avery Elizabeth Whitney, magna cum laude. Garrett C. Witten, cum laude. Kate Lynn Withy, magna cum laude. Venus I. Wright. Ashley Elizabeth Young. Dongmei Yuan, summa cum laude. Joanne Zhang.
So we have now officially conferred the degrees on many, many happy students. Join me in offering the new graduates a rousing round of applause, please. Well, that's great. If you'd please direct your attention to the sky just above the screen behind me, our drone photographer is flying and ready to capture all of you and this momentous celebration. Please look up and wave for the camera. I now close the 2024 commencement ceremonies at the University of Maine at Farmington. Graduates and guests, please remain in your place until the platform party and faculty procession have exited the amphitheater. Thank you, congratulations again, and go Beavers! Our work is done.
Nice work.
Hello.